Hey, I'm doing this video because I made something that I was fairly excited about some weeks ago. I pretty much, any drummer who has scoured the internet about practice pads knows about I think it's called the Sabian quiet tone. It's basically a practice pad that utilizes an actual drum head. And the idea is that you have a practice pad that feels like a snare drum. But for me, anyone who's like me, who's living on a budget, doesn't always have 80 bucks laying around that they want to spend on. So for years I had kind of been thinking about, all right, there's got to be a way you can make your own Sabian quiet tone head. Or practice pad. So I scoured the internet, and I was actually influenced by Von Baron, who is a content creator on YouTube and a jazz drummer in his own right. And so I kind of took some ideas from him. So I'm going to give credit where credit is due here. So basically what I did here, I took two old drum heads, just a regular coated ambassador, and then just a clear it might be a single ply Remo Ambassador, but just branded Gretsch. And the idea that I got from him is that he took pieces of cardboard and then put it underneath a drum head in order to kind of give some kind of like stableness to the head underneath it whenever he played brushes underneath it. I wanted to be able to play sticks on it. So I took the cardboard idea, and I had a bunch of large boxes for like 22-inch bass drums, or 20-inch to 24-inch cymbals. And basically, so these are 13-inch heads. I took a 12-inch head, just so that I knew it would sit flush underneath the head. I took a 12-inch head and then drew a circle around the collar of the hoop, or the collar of the head. I guess it's the metal part of the head. You'll know what I'm talking about. Just the very outside of the head, along the back of those large boxes, and I cut about 8 of those circles. I cut about 8 of them, and then I just put them in between these two heads, and then I had a couple 6-hole 13-inch rims laying around, and I thought, I bet if you just took, at the time I originally used swivel nuts for like drum lug casings, which didn't hold as well as I wanted to, and I just had tension rods run through. The tension rod would run through, and then the swivel nut would be here. I didn't want to go to the hardware store and find a hex nut that would fit a tension rod, because I already had these 8mm bolts laying around with washers and a locking hex nut. So I just put them through, and with a Phillips head and a socket wrench, just got the desired tension I wanted with those plastic, or with those cardboard circles in between, and got the tension I wanted, and it does the thing. I've played. I studied with a teacher that had the Sabian quiet tone. It doesn't really feel that much different. It feels like an actual drum. So yeah, and I just used this with a bunch of stuff that I had laying around. Maybe you'd have to go to a hardware store to maybe get some bolts and hex nuts and washers of the same size, but other than that, I think if you have some boxes laying around, this is a way to make something like a quiet tone practice pad for very little money, and you wouldn't have to spend the 80 bucks that they want to charge you. Sabian makes great stuff, but well, a lot of us are broke out there. So just thought I'd share this. There's a way that you can make one for yourself, And yeah, thanks. Let me know what you think.